Today I am down at this beautiful farm pond and I'm going to be fishing with this $1 frog that I picked up from Walmart. This pond is absolutely loaded with shoreline grass all around the whole thing. The frogs are chirping and I really think that we are going to get smoked on this frog today. I have never been to this pond before ever, so I don't know if there's big fish in here. I don't know if there's small fish in here. I do know that there's bass and we're gonna see what we can catch today. We're about to get rigged up, but before we do that, be sure to leave a like on this video if you guys do enjoy it and subscribe to the channel down below. I'm trying to hit 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so if you wouldn't mind going ahead and doing that for me, I would greatly appreciate it. Let's go ahead and get rigged up and take our first cast. I'm excited, man. This is gonna be awesome. All right, guys, so this is all my stuff. You can see I've got junk everywhere. I brought my other frog box as well. You can see it's just slam full of popping pickles and sexy frogs, and we may end up throwing a couple of these today. But I did pick up this frog at Walmart. Like I said, it was $1.98, I think is what it was. And we're gonna throw this thing and see if you can actually catch fish on it. So I've got my rod over here. I've got one frog rigged up. I've also got one backup right here, just in case we break this one off or something gets messed up with it. And I also brought my measuring board today for the mock tournament. You can see I've got my code on there, Smash 5. If you guys do want to enter into that, go down below. This will continue for the next couple of months. I am putting all my fish catches in for the month of June right now. But if you guys do want to enter, be sure to check it out down below. In the description, I've got a link for it. And now it is time to see if we can catch us a frogfish. It's not really cloudy today. It's not super sunny though either. It's I don't know. It's partly cloudy, we'll say that. And I don't know, we'll just have to see. The thing about a frog is I feel like you can get bit on a frog in the middle of the day as long as it's a froggy area. And this is a farm pond. This thing has been here for who knows how long. It's got grass everywhere. You can hear the frogs out here just chirping, and you can see all the grass around the shoreline. Over there we've got some thicker scum. Over here we've got some really tall kind of like reeds. And we're just gonna walk around this whole pond and just see what we can do. I hear the frogs, they're going crazy. We're just gonna have to cast around, see what we can find, see if we can catch us a bass. I don't know if they're gonna be super shallow. I don't know if they're gonna be deep, but I've got a feeling we're gonna end up getting a couple blow-ups on this thing. And the goal right now is to see if we can catch 3 fish on this $1 frog from Walmart. This thing does pretty good. I can walk it pretty good. It's just your standard old frog. Not too bad. I guarantee you it's gonna be full of water after the first cast. No, it's really not. So maybe this thing will be a little bit better than I thought. I've never actually used one of these. I used one a long time ago. It was a little bit different than this one. But so far, it's seeming like it may work okay. We'll just have to see. And we might have to go to some deeper water. Over here, it's a little bit shallow, but I think over here on this edge, which I don't even know if I can get to that over there, but it looks like over there on that edge, it may be a little bit deeper. So we may end up having to work our way over there. So I'm throwing this today on my Lew's Mock Crush combo. This is a 7.3 heavy, and I've got some braid on here. You really want to have 50 or 65 pound test braid whenever you're fishing a frog. If you're not fishing super thick cover, you can get away with having not as thick a braid, but you definitely always want braid. That is 100% something that you want when you're fishing a frog. You don't want to have any stretch in your line, and you want to be able to rip those fish out if you need to out of that heavy cover. And this down here looks like a really good area for a big old bass to be hanging around. Cast it over there on that grass edge. I just don't know if this is deep enough. We'll just have to see. I should have gotten out here earlier, but we're here now. This thing does fill up with water a little bit, so I kind of have to keep my rod up. That way I can kind of keep that frog up there. When I start walking it, it tries to take on some water, so. I can hear something getting eaten over there in that grass. I just heard it. I'm pretty sure that was a bass eating something. There's got to be some fish up in here. I bet there's a lot of fish that are sitting out in the deeper water, but at the same time, in the summertime, when you have grass and vegetation, the fish will get in that too in the summer. So there's got to be something around here in some of this grass. Gotta be. grab my measuring board. We're gonna go for a little bit of a walk. I think that this side over here is deeper. This is the dam. Usually the dam on the pond is the deepest part, so I'm gonna go over here and see. This whole area right here where these trees are looks like a great place to fish, but there's no way I can cast through all these trees, so I'm just gonna have to walk around until I find an opening and just fish there. Let's try right here. I'm not gonna be able to get very many casts, but usually little areas like this can pay off, especially these pipes. I don't know if I've ever caught a frogfish off one of these pipes, but I do know that pipes like that in these ponds hold fish. Usually very big fish too. Oh, there's one under me. There's two under me. Oh, and there's some nice bluegill right there. Those bass are just small, but I can see them. They're just sitting underneath it. I need you to eat it, please. They're not big enough. They don't want to hit it. Let's get down here and see if I can get off a cast down this bank right here. Not too bad. No idea where that landed. This is a good spot to remember, especially for fishing something like a worm. Could be a really good spot. I guarantee if I took an ocho and threw it right there, I'd probably catch 5 or 6 bass. But we're trying to catch one on the frog. That is our focus. There's a lot of grass that comes out right here. Goes out a little bit deeper, a lot of scum. Very, oh goodness gracious. I was about to say I'm very surprised I didn't get bit right there. And then I got bit right there. What the world? I can't get a great cast right there. But that was a daggum bite from a bass. I saw him, he came out of the water. Right there. He was in that thick stuff right there. I mean very, very thick stuff. Maybe that's where they're at, I don't know. This looks like a promising little area right here. Looks pretty promising. There's some more thick stuff down in here. The wind's blowing in this direction a little bit. Looks a little bit deeper. That was money, dude. I'm in the tree a little bit, but that was beautiful. Got a little willow tree right there, throwing out a lot of shade on all this scum. Beautiful. I will say this thing sinks quite a bit, and that is not very good. You have a higher end frog like a Strike King Sexy Frog or a poppin' perch. Got it. Got him. That's a nice fish. That is a nice fish. There we go. Not bad at all. Looky there. What I was saying is, if you have a nice, more expensive frog, they don't tend to sink as much. But hey, we just caught one on the daggum sinking frog. Look at there. Not a bad fish. He's not super big. He's definitely not going to help me win the month of June for our Smash tournament, but I only have 3 or 4 fish submitted so far. So, goodness gracious, homie. So, since I have only 3 or 4 fish submitted so far, I'm just gonna go ahead and submit him also. Got us a little 15-incher on the $1 frog. What a beautiful blow up too. That was awesome. That was beautiful. And he absolutely jacked up my frog, but hey, that ain't nothing that we can't fix. We're gonna get this thing back ready for action. Throw out there again. That gives me hope for the day. That's 2 bites and we've landed 1. I think fishing the other half of this pond, we should be able to pull off a couple more fish. Let's keep on moving. I'm gonna see if I can get a better cast off down here once I get around this little corner. Would not recommend doing this in shorts like I'm doing, but you gotta go where the bass are sometimes. That's what I'm doing. I'm going where the bass are, trying to catch me one. All this over here looks really good. All this grass, beautiful. Just your typical farm pond. Oh, fish just jumped out in the middle of the water out there. Looked like a flying fish. I will say this pond appears to be very healthy. I've been seeing a lot of bait fish and brim, bluegill, all around the edges in this grass, which is a good sign. Gonna keep on moving. Look at that grass. It's thick, it goes out far. Is that not just like beautiful? I mean, come on, boom, blow up on it right there. Come on. I can just hear stuff getting absolutely blown up on in these cattails. But there's like no way that I can cast in there. But there's like no open spots to throw the frog. Like none. This is what happens when I try to throw my frog in there. Doesn't this rock just look beautiful? There's so many bait fish right here. It's crazy. Beautiful. Look at that. What in the world was that? Might have been a carp. These cattails are strong, bud. Woo, it's getting hot out here. I've tried to get him to eat this frog. We had 2 bites, we landed 1. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna move ponds. We're gonna try to find another pond that has more grass and more active frog fish. But before I leave here, I did see all those fish over there near that pipe. So I'm gonna go over there, see if I can catch some. I've got a mock smash spinning combo right here, and I'm gonna put a Strike King Ocho on there, weightless, wacky rig style. Perfect for fishing a pond. We're gonna go over here, see if we can catch a couple fish real quick before we move spots, and then we're gonna keep on throwing the frog. This is what I've got. Little watermelon red Ocho on a wacky rig with the mock smash. Got this pipe right here. You always just have to throw at pipes. That's just kind of a part of it. When I was over here with the frog earlier, I saw quite a few fish. They just weren't super big, but they could definitely eat this. So I figured I'd come over here and try it a couple casts. Oh man, missed him. That little fish must have had it the whole time. I just didn't know it. I just threw it out there and was letting it sink. I never even noticed that he picked it up. But apparently he did at some point. Yep, just like that one did. Not super big, but they're fish. There we go, little fish. He just threw my ocho somewhere down here. I have no idea really where. Even if they're not super big, they're still fun to catch. And like I said earlier, I've never fished here before, so this pond might just have smaller fish. It seems to be a more shallow pond, and usually shallower ponds don't have as many big fish. I mean, I won't say that that's always the case, but generally if you've got some deeper water in a pond, you're gonna have some bigger fish, and I'm sure there's some in here, but probably the larger population of fish in this pond are smaller, and that's okay. I got a nice one. Look at there. It's not a bad fish. Oh yeah, nice fish. Yep, that fish was out there a lot deeper too. A lot deeper. See, they're not all babies in here. There's a couple nice fish. I should have brought my measuring board over here because that one right there probably would help some, but we're just gonna throw them back. Another one bites the dust. This one's small, I think. Yep. Little baby. They are eating the wacky rig though. All right, one more fish, then we're moving spots. And it's back to the frog. Well, I ended up seeing two fish that were about 5 pounds right here in front of me. One of them was following my ocho, and then I got a knot in my line and they ended up swimming off because I had to get my reel fixed. But we're good to go now, and I have no idea where they went, but it was legitimately like 2 5-pound bass. So that just goes to show you, like, this is not just a small fish pond. There is some good ones in here. Just might not be a lot of them. But I saw 2 5-pounders right there. I done caught me another bass. He's just not big. Golly, they're fat though. Goodness gracious. Look how fat he is. That daggum fatty. All right, and we are at spot number 2. The pond is actually down here a little ways. I gotta walk down there, so I'm not gonna carry the big camera with me, but I'm gonna take my frog rod and I'm gonna take my spinning rod just in case I end up having to catch a couple on the wacky rig. But this pond looks pretty good. Hoping that we'll be able to get some fish down here. Looks like we've got a lot of overhanging trees with some shade, which is perfect for a frog. And hopefully there's some grass down here too. Let's go down here, check it out. You know, it's summertime when you're finding these right here. They're not all the way ripe yet, but they're coming in before long. The deer are gonna be chewing on those things. Oh man, this pond looks good. The water's up right now too. If I can't catch them on a frog here, there is a problem. But look at this flooded stuff. We've got bushes right here, trees. The whole pond is flooded right now. Looks like the perfect spot to throw a frog to me. Looks beautiful. I'm just gonna leave that stuff right there for right now. Oh man. This looks good. There's not necessarily grass in here, but there is flooded structure. And I like that a lot. And I can hear the frogs just going crazy. Never fished here before either, so we'll have to see. I'm assuming there's bass in here, but I really don't know, so we'll just have to cast around and find out. Yeah, it's flooded up in here. That was gorgeous. Come on, please hit it right there. That was beautiful. Catched it right under that flooded tree in the shade. Doesn't get any better than that. I'm gonna work my way down here towards the dam. It definitely looks deeper down here. I think this pond overall is deeper than that last one. Oh my gosh, dude, look at this. I don't even think I'll get bit right here, but if I don't throw, I'm just gonna like regret it, so I at least have to try. I mean, look at this. If it was springtime, game over. This stuff just looks so good. It's flooded so much in here. But down here on this dam, you can see there's a bunch of trees and stuff that have a lot of shade. And if there's deep water and shade, it's where I would think the bass would be. So it's kind of where I'm headed towards. Well, I'm on the dam right now, but there's no possible way I'm casting right here. So I'm working my way to this other side to see if there's any openings over here. Really, to fish this, you need a kayak or a boat or something. But I don't have that. So there's the beaver hut. This pond right here is tough to fish from the bank. Well, it's getting hotter and hotter out here, and that pond was a total bust, so I'm gonna leave here. I'm gonna go to another spot. We're gonna see how it works out there, and we'll just see what happens. I mean, this other spot, it's definitely got a lot of grass. I think that they'll hit a frog a couple times, but with as hot as it is and no cloud cover, it may be a little tough, so we'll just have to see. I don't know. And we're here. Frogs are chirping. We've got the $1 frog right here. We're gonna see if we can catch us something. Honestly, I want to give this thing a fair chance, and I really did not pick the best day to do this. I most definitely should have waited for a cloudy day, and it was supposed to get cloudy today, but I don't think that's really gonna happen anymore. But they will hit a frog in the grass even if the sun is out. I am all up in the tree. I mean, this is like the froggiest territory you can get. I just had a bite right there. I mean, this is the type of stuff that I would think that they want to be in, is this thick stuff. I had one small roll on it as soon as it hit the water. I mean, this is the type of stuff where you can catch them on a frog. Something tried to eat my line. Probably a bluegill. Oh my gosh. I did not think he ate it. I can't believe he's still hooked. What in the world? That wake was huge. I thought it was like a 5-pounder, dude. That makes no sense. There was a huge wake right there. I mean, huge. Not a blow up. I thought it was a big one that missed it, but I guess that little small one right there made that wake, and he actually got it, because I reeled down and just felt him on there, set the hook, and jerked him out of the water. There's 2 fish on it. Let's see if we can get one more. It's just tough fishing right now, throwing something like this. I think it's going to be tough either way just because it's so hot outside, but it's tough getting them to hit a frog right now. And you would think that they would love to eat a frog. I mean, look at this. You can hear the frogs. You can see why the frogs would be here. I know that's one of the #1 food sources in these ponds is frogs. So if they just got a little frog coming across the top of the surface, just a little easy meal, you already know that they're going to try to take advantage of that. Got him. That's number 3. Yes, sir. That's not a bad fish either. Heck yeah, dude. I wasn't even gonna cast on this spot because it hasn't been very good lately, but I'm sure glad I did. That's number 3 right there. We're gonna get a couple more casts in there. But there we go. Frog is all tore up, but caught us a bass. Heck yeah. Well, it's hot. The fish are not biting very good, and we have met our goal of 3 fish on the Topwater Frog today. So we're gonna end it off here. And this video does prove that a bass will eat a $1 Topwater Frog. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.